Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Valia Bhatnagar, and I am with you with the era of AFM. Acha, everyone. I hope you all remember we are done with our module A all together, है ना? So we were done with module A, we were done with module B, then we started with module C, and now we are reaching almost the end of module C as well. In the module C, we cover a particular topic called capital structure and cost of capital. But that this particular topic is super interesting, and it will be helpful to you in your BFM as well as in terms of your ABFM, that is there in CIIB. Matlab, if you do this particular topic in JIIB, this is going to be helpful not only in JIIB but also in CIIB. Now, what's the particular topic, everyone? The name of the topic is capital structure and cost of capital. Pata, what do you mean by capital structure? Uh, if you love baking cake, do you know there's a specific amount of icing sugar as well as multi-purpose flour, or we can say the sugar that is used, the cream, everything has to be predefined. You cannot be just random in terms of the measuring amount, है ना? This happens na everyone. Why do we say this? There's a specific reason that we say this. The reason is that if you put a lot of multi-purpose flour or you put lesser oil, it will become dark or it will become dye or it will face one or the other issues, isn't it? The problem is whenever you are preparing all these things, you have to be very clear about the proportions. And capital structure talks about that proportion only. If I take a loan, that's called a debt. If I use my own money, that's called equity. And how do we balance it out, the debt and equity? That is capital structure. How much of each has to be used? And the cost of capital, how do we define cost of capital, everyone? Cost of capital refers to the cost of capital can be defined as something which is related to the area of what is the cost that you have to bear? The cost that you have to bear on the particular debt or the particular equity you're looking forward to. The cost that you have to bear. The cost that you have to bear in terms of debt is way different from that of equity. How are these two different, everyone? When we talk about debts, it's different from that of equity because of one specific reason. In terms of debt, you will find that debts are basically something which you just take a loan, you pay it off and you're done with it. The problem arises when we take a loan and then we need no more money and we go for equity. Equity shareholders are going to ask us for money. Aren't they going to ask for more money, everyone? They will definitely go for it. The equity shareholders are going to ask us that what is the voting right? What is the voting right? What is the dividend that they'll be receiving? Matlab, everybody is going to look forward towards what additional they will receive because of the cost of capital. Matlab, this is all about the money to be received by the organization. Okay, so in this case, we have to be very, very vigilant when it comes to this specific area. So cost of capital and capital structure are related to the area of an organization which is trying to find out whether the organization is having the right blend of loans as well as the money that they're using on your own, because the point is equity means losing control. Debt means losing money because you have to pay a compulsory amount as well. So technically the module C clearly states that either we'll be this particular topic itself states that we have to find that perfect blend. If we take a lot of loans, financial burdens will increase, or if we take a lot of equity shareholders, and probably we are losing our share in the business altogether. Okay, so then here comes the first question. Acha, before I continue with the session, everyone, please like this particular session, share it among your peers, and please make sure that you are following all these classes every single day, because it is super duper important that you are following all the classes, because in each and every class one or the other full-fledged topic is covered. ठीक है. Why might the promoters of a company prefer issuing debt instruments over equity instruments, everyone? Debt instruments are better. Why? To increase voting rights, to dilute ownership, to maintain control and avoid voting rights dilution, or to attract more investors. What would it be, everyone? When we talk about the area of equity shareholders, the equity shareholders are the people who have the voting rights over the organization. The equity shareholders have voting rights, while the preference shareholders do not have any voting rights, along with the people from whom we have taken loans. So one thing is clear, that we have to have equity instruments, then the voting rights are there. But if you're preferring debt, then you are definitely maintaining your control and avoiding delusion of voting rights. Do you know, if you go through the particular cases of Steve Jobs and Mr. Narayan Murthy, now Steve Jobs was the founder of Apple, and Mr. Narayan Murthy is the founder of Infosys. Both of these people have one thing common. They were the originator of the particular companies. Once the investors grew further and further, they were thrown out of their own companies due to the majority that won in the board. That means that it is so important to have your own portion in terms of equity, so that you are not taken out of your own organization. This is to maintain control and to avoid dilution of the voting rights. Acha, what is the concept of trading on equity, everyone? Normally people think that trading on equity would mean that we are maximizing equity capital. What do you think? Next is maximizing debt capital, earning more the profit by deploying more funds at a lower cost than the funds cost, avoiding the use of debt capital. Trading on equity means we actually switch away from equity, because equity shareholders, we have seen, they start asking for a lot in terms of the organization, which they cannot afford. So technically in this cases, the third point is earning more profit by deploying funds at a lower cost than the funds cost. This is what, when we talk about, we actually take loans. In terms of trading on equity, we will move to an option which is other than equity. And when you have an option other than equity, what will you do? You will opt for it and you will not lose your voting rights. So this is the particular area. You try to earn more funds because you at a lower cost, because what will happen if the company if the company is working in a specific area, by the time we look forward towards the employment of if they are deploying money into this organization, whatever money they are using their own, they won't be answerable because they are working hell hard to do something about it. But when it comes to the people from whom they have taken loans, those people are always after their lives, and they need to be very well prepared for the situation where they might have to pay all in advance. So this is a particular situation where we talk about the sensitivity of that particular topic, and we try to understand a profit maximization of that particular concept as well. Done. Now let's look at the next question. The next question says, why is the cost of debt considered uh, one of the most important factors in deciding the capital structure of a company? Debt is basically the loan that you are taking now. So technically you will look forward towards your interest and principal and your ability to pay back. Done. It determines the return on equity. It affects the validity and viability and solvency of the firm, or it is tax deductible, or decreases the overall profitability of that well of that particular firm. Done? Why is the cost of debt considered one of the most important? Cost of debt is very, very important, everyone. The loans that we take, it should not exceed that we cannot pay. Everybody, what is the cost of debt considered as one of, why is debt is considered as one of the important factors? See, everyone, if I've already taken two loans, will you give me one more loan? It determines the return on equity, it affects the viability and solvency of the firm, or it is tax deductible, or it increases the overall profitability of the firm. When we talk about the cost of debt is basically the loans that we take. The interest rate will always increase when it comes to the cost of debt is basically the interest rate. Now, it is basically something which is actually tax deductible, but the main point here is it affects the viability. Matlab, it affects whether the particular organization can whether that particular thing is basically being viable and solvency of the firm. Everyone, you must have seen the CIBIL now. You must have got your own CIBIL rating. What do you mean by the CIBIL rating? You can check whether you had taken some loans in the previous timing and whether you are able to pay it or not. The CIBIL rating is based upon that. If there's any money which is due to the banking area, then the CIBIL rating can go down. है ना? That means if you take a lot of loans, what will happen, everyone? If you take multiple loans now, then there is one particular scary part, that is, if you do not pay the loan, then your assets would be sold down if it is a secured loan. So that's why you have to be very careful when it comes to these payments. According to the net income approach, how does increasing the proportion of debt in the capital structure affect the weighting structure, or the weighting average? Everyone, what's going to be the answer? WCC decreases or increases? WACC. Everyone, what would be the value of WCC? Weighted average cost of capital is basically that particular part of the capital which is multiplied by the which is multiplied by each other, but in proportion of those things. When we talk about the net income approach is basically the one in which we are trying to find out what is the exact income that we are receiving. So if your proportion of debt increases, if the debt takes away all our money, then what will happen? Our WACC will decrease, while the value of the business firm increases. In this area, we are talking about WACC, weighted average cost of capital. The cost is increasing. If the cost is increasing, then you will then there is only one problem, that is authenticity in terms of the organization's true values. Acha, everyone, next is what is the key assumption for next operating income approach? Everybody, what is the key assumption? WACC is directly proportional to the debt proportion. Operating income is influenced by chance of debt proportion. The value of the firm is not affected by the change in debt proportion. And what would be the answer? What would be the answer, everyone? Is it the value of the firm is not affected by the changes or financial leverage significantly impacts the business risks? Everyone, the correct answer is C. The value of the firm is not affected if you change the debt proportion. Technically, the debt and equity is a separate amount of what would be the answer, everyone? The value of the firm is not affected by the proportion. Everyone, I already took total loan. Now, in the total loan, if I take additional 2-3 loans as well, the things are still going to be the same. Now, I still have to pay the same cost. But the kid knows that when we talk about the shareholders, they know that their parents are looking at them. In the same case, shareholder, when we talk about the area of shareholders, sometimes they are what they are they are just looking forward towards the business in terms of its growth. When it comes to taking loans, they will take the loans and run the business. है ना? Done, everyone? Done? Now let's move on to the next question. What factor does the net operating income consider as crucial for determining the market value of the firm? Financial leverage. Financial leverage is the loans that they're taking, business risk and operating income, debt repayment capability, or cost of equity. Whenever we're talking about net operating income, this is the business, the income of the business itself. In this case, it would be business risk and operating income, everyone. In this case, the overall question shows that when we talk about more leverage, we are ready for more financial burdens, and if we are taking more financial burdens, we have to take out the required money to meet up those tough financial situations as well. Now comes the next question, everyone. This is a question of WACC. ABC Limited has its capital structure comprising of 50% of debt and 50% of equity. The cost of debt is 10%. Acha. This is a question of WACC is equal to cost of debt into the weight of debt plus cost of equity into the weight of equity. The cost of debt is given in this area as 10%, and then we have WACC in terms of debt is 50%. Can you say ABC Limited has its capital structure comprising a 50% debt? That means out of total 50% is debt and 50% is equity. What are we paying for the debt? We are paying an amount of 10%. This is the cost of the debt. That means the amount shall also be charged accordingly. So in this case, the cost of equity is not known, but the weight of equity is known. What is the weight of equity, everyone? If I talk about the importance of equity, cost of equity is not known. Weight of equity is known. Weight of equity is what would be the answer, everyone? What would be the answer, everyone, in this case? WACC is also given 5x. Everyone, 10% is the cost of debt, and this is his weight. This was basically related to the area of cost of equity and cost of equity. Everyone, in this case, what's going to do? 13%. What would be the answer, everyone? This is 15% into, let's solve this again, everyone. We are given an amount of 13% here is equal to cost of equity is 0.50 into 0.10. In this case, plus, in this case, what's going to be the answer? You don't know about the amount as well as the portion of weight that is attached to it. What would be the answer? It would be 13% plus 50% of 10. That would be 5% of. To take the test rebate, you will have to immediate amount anybody pays. In this case, the amount will come out to be the same. In this case, what's going to be the answer? It's going to be 13% minus 5%. Hold on. Oh, we went on to the answer itself. Let me show it here. It is basically 13% was here and 5% was here, plus we don't know the equity, but I know the weightage. This is the way. Then you will do 13 minus 5% and this 0.5 goes down, and this is called the equity. Then what will we do? 13 minus 5, that is your 8, and this is 0.5. If 8 is 50% of something, that will give you the point of 16%, everyone. So in this case, the correct answer will turn out to be 16%, or the answer is C. This is weighted average cost of capital, WACC. The formula for WACC can be defined simply like the WACC is equal to cost of debt into the weight of debt plus cost of equity into the weight of equity plus the cost of preference shares, if any, into the weight of preference shares. This is to be used. According to the net operating income approach, what is the operating influence of the value of the firm? WACC. Total interest, cost of equity, operating profit, or proportion of debt. In this case, what is going to be affected is the operating profit, everyone. EBIT. Whatever money you have, that is all you can allocate. If you have limited money, then you cannot give a lot of money to others, isn't it? Then, which statement is true regarding the cost of debt in the net operating income approach? It remains constant regardless of changes in the debt proportion. It decreases as the proportion of debt increases. It depends upon the total interest cost incurred. It is always higher than the cost of equity. No, equity is higher. One particular thing is clear. Equity, if equity shareholders are entering, we are losing our control. Technically, these are way costly. They're gonna throw a lot of tantrums. They'll ask for a lot of dividends, so that's a problem for us. It depends upon the total interest cost incurred. That is also one true thing. It decreases the proportion of, it decreases as the proportion of debt increases. It remains constant. No, technically the answer is it remains constant regardless the change in the debt proportion. If I have taken a 10% debenture loan, whatever the debenture would be, my token interest rate is defined. It would be 10% in every case. So the answer is going to be A, because it remains constant no matter what the amount would be. Okay, so that's it for the day, everyone. But before I end my session, let me tell you, you can go to our website and open up our website, that is Adda 247. What you need to do is go on to the area of Adda 247. As soon as you go on to this area, click on the area of JAIIB and CIB, right? As soon as you reach the area of JAIIB and CIB, open it up. Go on to the area of JIB and CIB. Go on to the area of CIB JIB CIB Mahapack. That is beneficial for you because it covers all the classes, all the specific batches. JIB Mahapack 2.0 is available, as well as both JIB and CIB is available to take up any of these packs, which includes all the classes, revision batches, everything, test series, other things. It includes a lot of things, rather, if I would have to be very honest. This includes bilingual, English medium, both kind of classes, as well as the area regarding various topics related to the area of revision batches. Along with this, you get the test series, you get the previous batches, current batches, and any further batch that would be coming during this period as well. So all these things are available. Just click on the area of Y541. You get it at 78% discount, and it is available at 6898.85. So you can buy it at the lowest price. So please go ahead and check it out on our website.